Hello everyone and welcome to a new Top 5. Nintendo just revealed Switch 2 yesterday as I'm writing this, and I am so hyped I couldn't resist putting up some kind of video. So here we are, my favorite things announced during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Let's get clicking. You'll understand that soon if you didn't. Side note, at point of recording, I am already aware of the situation regarding the delays. I'm still hyped for the system, so we're gonna go ahead with this video anyway. Let's get going. Alright, let's get this part out of the way, alright? I'm not all that tech savvy, and I'm not picky when it comes to my game's performance. That's why I still love Nintendo, because regardless of how underpowered their systems are by contemporary standards, their games are always beautiful and fun. Also, Nintendo wants to be sure everyone can enjoy what they make, which is why most of their hardware and software is cheaper than others, even if only by a little. So, when I heard the rumors about a 4K 120 FPS docked mode for the Switch 2, I was skeptical. But here we are! Confirmed specs match the rumors, and the screen is bigger and better in handheld mode too. All that would be exciting enough, but some of the games, that I'll get to in a minute, are still beyond what I thought Switch 2 would be capable of handling. And besides all that, we do in fact have a new mouse control option with those Joy-Cons alone, opening up yet another weird way to play games that could be a game changer. We'll have to wait and see about that. Most importantly, not only is there a camera accessory and a built-in mic for voice chat, finally, now you can even video chat with your friends while playing. This is crazy cool, and it's one of those things that, like, Sony and Microsoft are probably kicking themselves for not doing it in the first place. Sure, there's Discord, but having an onboard built-in option always tends to be easier to use and work better, so I am very excited. And the last thing I want to talk about, Game Share. I am so happy that I can once again play games with my friends without having to buy them all a copy to play. This was on the DS and 3DS as download play, but it was sorely missing on Switch, so thank you, Nintendo! Alright, let's talk games now, yeah? Off if you must, but the Switch is my favorite console of all time, so far. I keep saying I just want to play every game ever on my Switch, and that generally holds true. But there have been a small handful of Switch ports that didn't seem worth playing over the other versions, but generally if it is on the Switch, I want to play it on Switch. I don't see that changing for Switch 2, especially when said ports include things like Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and freaking Yakuza 0! That's why I lumped these together, because even though they are available elsewhere, including on the Steam Deck, if you couldn't wait to play some of these on the road, the Steam Deck may be just fine. I don't know, I don't have one. But I know Nintendo makes really nice, high-quality stuff that I just know is gonna feel good to me. This is one of two categories that get me really excited, but probably no one else, so, you know, my list. You play these games however you want. I'll just be running my Kamurocho real estate business over here on my lunch break. Thank you very much. Next! Actually, a quick honorable mention here. I have a vicarious hype for the Duskbloods, but Souls-likes are really not my thing. I kinda stink at them. But for my Souls-like loving friends, you know who you are, I am happy for you. And I will probably try it out and let you know how much I suffer. Duskbloods is a new game anyway, and it doesn't quite play the same as other FromSoft games, so it doesn't really belong in this category, but I didn't want to just leave it off. Moving on. Yes, the thing everybody wanted since Switch Online began is finally here, and like every other announcement, it's even better than I hoped. So the features we know return, like save states and online multiplayer, and that alone is a big, big deal. Just remember how many awesome multiplayer games were on the GameCube for a minute. Think of your favorite. Now, it's online. And while I know Mario Kart Double Dash and Melee will be at the top of everybody's wish list, what we have already is so cool. So here's the full list, just rattled off real quick. Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX, Chibi Robo, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Pokemon Coliseum, and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. That is just the starting lineup, and already they're saving me hundreds of dollars trying to pick these up for myself again. I've already replaced several of the games already on the list, but remember the potential games to be added here. The GameCube is my second favorite system after the Switch. It's the system I went really hard on, and there are so many games I'd love to see. But before I forget, yes, there is a special GameCube controller with all the necessary buttons only on my Nintendo, and there's one other important feature I hope gets retrofitted across the other Switch Online apps: mappable controls. Finally! I am so happy about everything. Okay, before I start gushing on this next entry here, Nintendo, gotta have a talk. I thought we were past the days of terrible and confusing naming conventions. Switch and Switch 2 are barely passable in terms of distinguishing the difference between those. Now you make an announcement about 3 playable types of games that include Switch 2 games, Switch 1 games, and now Switch 2 Edition games? Go to your timeout chair and think about what you've done. In the meantime, the much easier explanation of this is that Switch 2 Edition games are just Switch 1 games with upgrades and enhancements, like those deluxe versions of the Wii U games they put on the first Switch. See, Nintendo? That is clear and understandable. Now that I'm finished complaining, I'm actually super excited about this. Graphics and performance upgrades alone are definitely welcome, but several games will include all new features and content. Super Mario Party Jamboree is going to add new modes and games that use the mouse controls, the camera, and the mic controls. And now both Zelda games come with a companion app that'll be used for new content and for a little extra help to find those stupid tree people pooped. And my favorite announcement is all new story content for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Regardless of the nature of the upgrades, most of the Switch 1 library includes my all-time favorites, so any reason to revisit these gems is so welcome. Out of all the game developers out there, Nintendo is one of the few that knows how to pull me into a racing game, despite my lack of interest in the genre, because Mario Kart World is the first time I've been legitimately excited for a new Mario Kart game. Now don't read into that too far, I love Mario Kart, but when a new one is announced, usually all I say is, oh, that'll be fun. Not this time, because now I have an entire open world to Mario Kart through. That's right, the world in the title is not just a cool name, it is the core concept for this new Mario Kart game. So we've got things like knockout modes where you race across the entire map, and sometimes you have to drive to the next starting line for the next race, and there's even free roam options. This game is the best example for why I love Nintendo, because even a couple of weeks ago, I had somebody asking me what I thought maybe they would add to a new Mario Kart game, and all I ever say is, I have no idea, but it's gonna be great. Well, I was wrong. It's not great. It's spectacular. The final side note here, this was the first game announced, and they even announced it before the system itself, and I immediately said, oh, those rumored 8 million consoles I heard about that are ready to go, those are sold out. I guess we'll see. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little bummed in the best way possible that I didn't get a chance to even talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza or Kirby Air Riders on this list, but oh man am I so ready for both of those. Especially Donkey Kong. The King of the Jungle returns, long may his banana horde remain. So, there's my list. I'm sorry if your favorite games didn't make it, and like I said, I'm a little bummed that I had to leave out Donkey Kong, because I love Donkey Kong. But honestly, many of the features on the system are just so exciting, I had to have them on the list. I just had to. So do you have your Switch 2 pre-ordered yet? Probably not because of all those tariff delays, but this is not a political channel. I'm gonna move on. I'll be ready to pre-order as soon as possible. However you feel about things going on, share your most hype feelings in the comments. I am so excited for Switch 2. I cannot wait to be playing Nintendo games of all games in 4K, 120 FPS, mouse controls, all of it. I'm so ready for it. Happy gaming.